course, starting a care agency without CQC is a good idea. But what are the downsides? So guys, as you know, in the past, I have advocated for starting a care agency without the CQC license, because I do think it's a good idea to kickstart cash flow. But you know me, guys, I always like to give both sides of the coin, so that I don't oversimplify the process. And there are cons. There are absolutely cons of having a care agency that is not CQC regulated. I'll just give two, shall I? The first con is that your profit is capped, right? Your earning potential is capped. How much you can make is capped because domiciliary care is valued at 5.2 billion. And obviously, if you're not doing domiciliary care, you're not getting a piece of that cake, right? So yes, there's a demand for companionship packages. Yes, there's a demand for house sitting, housekeeping, domestic duties, things of that nature, things that do not require regulated activity, but your capital will be capped. The second thing, which kind of coincides with the first thing, is that there's limitations to what you can do, right? So it might not make sense to the service user long term to have you doing the domestic duties and doing cooking and companionship when they could get that from a CQC licensed company who can do both. You know what I mean? Like, long term, why would they need to pay someone who's non-accredited as well as someone who's accredited? Because unfortunately for you, the people that you are going to be supporting are aging. They're an aging demographic. And what that means for you is that the nature of their care will change inevitably. So even if when they started with you, they just needed cooking, light domestic duties, 2 years, 3 years down the line, they might need their commode to be changed, and they might need support putting on their pad, and they might need support with their catheter, and these are things that you won't be able to do, right? Because then that goes into the bracket of regulated activity, and you are not licensed to do that. I mean, you can, but it's against the law. So, it's not advisable. And what you find happens is a lot of companies that do those kind of duties get tempted to start doing things that they are not regulated to do. And it just ends down a very slippery slope. So I would say, yes, it's a good idea to kickstart cash flow. But yes, there are limitations. And yes, it will become frustrating and you will inevitably have to get that license because you want to offer all the services to one individual, right? Because that's what makes most sense. So that's something to consider before you start your non-CQC regulated care agency.